What if the world forced you to choose, deny your God, or lose your life? The book of 1 Maccabees opens in a time of chaos and fear. A powerful ruler, King Antiochus, rises and begins a brutal campaign, not just to conquer land, but to erase faith itself. He invades Jerusalem, desecrates the temple, and outlaws the law of God. Sacred traditions are banned. Worship is twisted into idol sacrifice, and anyone who refuses faces death. Imagine living in a world where your beliefs are illegal, where staying faithful could cost you everything. Many people gave in, out of fear, out of pressure, out of survival. But one man refused. His name was Mattathias, a priest, old in years but unshaken in conviction. When ordered to offer sacrifice to a false god, he made a choice that would change history. In a moment of fierce courage, he stood up, rejected the command, and called others to remain faithful. That single act sparked a rebellion. Mattathias fled to the mountains with his sons and all who were willing to fight for their faith. From there, a resistance movement was born, not of power or numbers, but of conviction. They began to defend the law, restore what had been destroyed, and call people back to God. After Mattathias died, leadership passed to his son, Judas Maccabeus, and everything changed. Judas was not just a fighter. He was a leader filled with boldness, strategy, and deep trust in God. Under his command, a small and seemingly weak army began to face powerful forces. They were outnumbered, out-equipped, outmatched, but they had something their enemies didn't: faith. Battle after battle, Judas led his people through impossible odds. Victories came not from strength alone, but from their unwavering trust that God was with them. Each win became more than military success. It became a sign that faith still lived. But this story isn't just about war. It's about identity, about what happens when a people are pushed to the edge and must decide who they really are. Are they a people who compromise, or a people who stand? Right here, before we go further, if this story is already speaking to you, don't scroll away. Subscribe now, because these aren't just ancient stories. They are reminders for us today. When pressure comes, when faith feels difficult, when standing for truth feels costly, you don't want to miss what comes next. Back to the story. After a series of incredible victories, Judas and his followers did something even more powerful than winning battles. They returned to Jerusalem. The city had been broken, the temple defiled, worship silenced. But now, it was time to restore. They cleansed the temple. They tore down the pagan altar. They rebuilt what had been destroyed and rededicated the house of God. Once again, true worship filled the place that had been corrupted. This moment became one of the most important in Jewish history, the rededication of the temple, remembered even today in the celebration of Hanukkah. Light had returned after darkness, but the struggle didn't end there. The book of 1 Maccabees continues with more battles, more leadership transitions, and the rise of a new kind of independence for the Jewish people. Through courage, sacrifice, and relentless faith, they reclaimed not just their land, but their identity. And that's the heart of this book. Not just victory, but faith under pressure. Not just survival, but choosing God when it costs everything. Because in the end, the real question 1 Maccabees asks is this: when everything around you tries to pull you away from God, what will you choose? If this story moved you, if it challenged you, if it made you think deeper about your own faith, make sure you're subscribed. More powerful Bible stories are coming, and the next one might change the way you see everything.